at that. We have an intro now. Isn't that pretty cool? Don't fuck with me while I'm doing the fucking voiceover, man. It's already fucking embarrassing enough. I don't need someone staring at me. Alright, we're taking a look at my first week of training after my first ever open competition. My performance was okay, personally. I was the only one in the 120 kilo weight category, so made it easy to win my weight category. My totals were like a 470, 480 deadlift. I did a 500, but I got called for hitching. I did a 390 squat. Not my PR, but considering some groin pain I was dealing with on that day, it was actually pretty good. And I did a 313 bench. So all in all, not lifetime PRs, but PRs at least all in one day. But yeah, so with my first week of training back after the open competition, things were moving like absolute garbage. It's kind of hard to tell in the video from these squats. They seem to be moving okay comparatively, but it felt like, I don't know, my muscles were just locked up. No amount of mobility was fixing it. My knee was hurting. Everything felt like it was moving through sludge. It was just some of my worst feeling squats in a very long time. That being said, since then they've gotten a lot better. It's probably just a little bit of stress accumulated from the competition. So I worked up to a triple you saw at 134-ish kilos, and then backed off for some volume work, 8 rep sets, 7 RPE around 95 to 105 kilos, so like a 200 to 230 pounds. Yeah. So what made this week really interesting is the fact that 200 pounds actually felt like 400 pounds, and everything was moving like absolute garbage. You can see forward swing, you can see, although the bar pathing is terrible, almost looks Good Morning-esque, it actually moves faster than it felt, about 300,000 times faster than it felt. But my training's going good now, so this is just kind of a retrospect, a nice look at how terrible it felt. We move into the bench press, which has been going really good for the last very long time. Moving into a triple at about an 8 RPE. We have a nice easy 285. What you'll see is I'll misgroove the third rep, so it doesn't actually, that's not failure, it was just a misgroove. I didn't really have my back locked in as tight as I wanted. And I've been doing almost all of my work thumbless. I don't know why, but it saves my shoulder. And moving into my open competition, I did a lot of thumb or comp grip with wrist wraps, and there was no loss in power. But when I started doing all of my volume work with thumbs over, I could feel it in my shoulders the next day when I went to get under the bar to squat. They kind of shaked in the joint, an old feeling that I haven't felt in a long time. So I'm just going to continue to do almost all of my work thumbless, knowing that it transfers over perfectly. I need to do competition grip, and in the long term it saves my shoulders. And this is third day of training. And the same problems that I had on my first day. Everything's moving like garbage. This is pause squats, which obviously are supposed to move slow, but not on the ascension. So I'm looking at dropping down a weight class, which means that I'm going to go from the 120 to the 105 kilo weight class. So I plan to be in the 102 area for the summer, probably May or June, which is ends up being maybe 5 pounds a month, which I think is achievable quite easily. And now we get to take a look at my buddy Darren's squatting. He's doing some volume work with 245. He is actually on the Calgary Barbell program, whereas I have a trainer now. So I don't know exactly what week he's on, but he's doing some volume 245. I think it sets a 6. Yeah, so back to my plans for a cut for the summer. I think a big part of making these plans come to fruition will be adherence, and adherence will be maintained through the video series, this video series specifically. So I think that will help me actually stay to those plans, because I've been hovering around 120 kilos for a year, 2 years, almost 3 years maybe, and it's been time to cut for a little while, and I haven't really put myself into it, but this time I'm going to have to. So I'm enjoying this new programming that I'm on. It's quite simple. It's just squatting and benching, deadlifting, benching, and variation squat and benching, and variation deadlift and benching. So and my coach is through Calgary Barbell, which is Taylor. He's taking a look at my numbers, and things have been going well. So yeah, I'm trying to convince Darren to do a powerlifting competition perhaps in the summer, and with that we'll have to take a look at his depth, which is his main issue on his squats. His bench is actually quite impressive, especially after running one cycle of the Calgary Barbell program. He made some pretty significant bench improvements. So it's just his squat depth that we're going to take a look at. And primarily it's going to be a mobility issue for him, not a strength issue. He's got decently strong legs. He just needs to work on his mobility a little bit more, and with that we can probably get him squatting to depth. So here I'm doing some volume work with the 3-2-1 pause squats. There was a while where I hated pause squats, but I'm starting to actually enjoy them, especially when I keep my mobility up. The hole doesn't feel so bad. This week it felt terrible, but again, this was the week after the competition, so things were garbage in general. And we got a side angle of our boy Darren now, just kind of like a depth check sort of thing, and he's doing an upset of 6 with 245. And as you see, his depth is almost there. He has some other mechanical issues that we may need to take a look at, but on a good day, he can achieve depth, at least competition depth. We just need to take a look at some of his other issues, mobility-wise. And here we got him doing some volume bench as well, 225 for sets of 6. The rack's set a little low for him, especially with his long arms and closer grip, whereas I have much shorter arms and a wider grip, as you're about to see. Yeah. And again, I took another, I think it was, 3 reps at an 8 RP of 285. You can see I don't misgroove this one at all. It moves very smooth. This was the one I did with the belt, obviously, but I don't think the belt made the difference. It was just a misgroove last week. And you got some footage of my last back off set, so our second last back off set. Just 245 or 240 for a easy set of 5. and that's going to draw this training week to a close. I'll be posting next week pretty soon.